The San Diego Police Department is pleased to announce the arrest of an adult male suspect for the murders of Alana Flint, age 22, Salvatore Belvedere, age 22, that occurred on December 24th, 2013, and the murder of Gianni Belvedere, age 24, whose body was discovered in Riverside County on January 17th, 2014. The suspect arrested for these three murders and now awaiting prosecution is Carlo Mercado, age 29, who is a resident of San Diego. These brutal murders that occurred nearly 6 months ago during our holiday season was a tragedy felt by the entire San Diego community, but nothing compared to the grief experienced by the Flint and Belvedere families. I would like to personally express again my deepest sorrow for their losses. Although the arrest of this violent individual and the upcoming aggressive prosecution will never bring back Alana, Salvatore, and Gianni, we hope it will somehow bring some comfort and closure for the families. The San Diego Police Department is committed to solving all murders, and Homicide Lieutenant Mike Hastings, Sergeant Brent Williams, and his entire team worked tirelessly to solve this case. I cannot say enough about the passion that drives the men and women of our department to seek justice for the victims and their families. I would also like to thank the entire law enforcement community in the San Diego region, and especially the Riverside Police Department for their assistance with this investigation. And we look forward to closely working with the District Attorney's Office and the Flint and Belvedere families throughout the upcoming prosecution. I know you have many questions, probably very detailed and fact-specific questions that we simply cannot answer at this stage in the process. During the upcoming court proceedings, you may hear more details about the facts and circumstances surrounding this case, but for the moment, I have to ask you for your patience as we proceed carefully and methodically as we have since that terrible morning just before Christmas. I will now invite Homicide Lieutenant Mike Hastings to come to the podium to make a comment and to answer a few general questions regarding this ongoing murder investigation. Mike.
Thank you, Chief. My name is Mike Hastings. I'm a lieutenant with the San Diego Police Department's Homicide Unit. I'd like to first thank all of you for the patience that you've shown over the last 6 months. I know that a lot of us have spoken almost on a daily, certainly on a weekly basis, trying to get answers regarding this case, and I appreciate all of your patience that you've shown while this case has been investigated. On Friday, June 20th, 2014, 29-year-old Carlo Mercado of San Diego was placed under arrest and charged with 3 counts of murder. This arrest came after investigators and forensic lab personnel developed substantial probable cause for Mercado's arrest. I'd like to bring you up to date on the status of the investigation and also some developments that occurred over this last weekend. After Mercado's arrest, homicide investigators worked Friday night and into Saturday morning doing follow-up investigative work. As you're aware, we contacted the families late Saturday morning and informed them of the developments. After the meeting with the family, investigators got a few hours sleep and then they were back to work. In the late afternoon on Sunday, yesterday, we presented this case to the District Attorney's Office. As of 5:30 last night, this case has been formally turned over to the San Diego County District Attorney's Office for prosecution. Mr. Mercado is due to be arraigned on Wednesday in San Diego Superior Court. As you are aware, once a case is turned over to the DA, the San Diego Police Department no longer makes comments regarding it. This is to protect a suspect's right to a fair trial and to assure evidence presented is in the proper forum, which is a court of law with judges, prosecutors, and defense attorneys. I would like to talk, though, generally about investigating homicide cases. With the advancement of forensic science, the advancement of social media, and the advancement of investigators' knowledge base, All three of these anchors, along with others, are important elements in solving homicide cases. I would like to thank first and foremost Homicide Team 1 and all of the homicide investigators in my unit for their relentless pursuit and their approach of never give up. I would also like to thank the Provo, Utah Police Department, the San Diego County District Attorney investigators, the FBI, and others for their assistance during this investigation. Over the last 6 months, I have received many inquiries regarding this case. Specifically, who is investigating it? The San Diego Police Department has a team approach to investigating homicides. What that means is 4 homicide detectives, 1 homicide detective sergeant, 1 homicide lieutenant, and a crime scene specialist respond directly to the scene at the time of the incident. This call out was assigned to Homicide Team 1. They have a combined tenure of over 114 years of law enforcement experience. Their backgrounds include working units such as domestic violence, vice, narcotics, sex crimes, and other investigative units prior to joining the homicide unit. This was a total unit effort. The homicide teams, other than Homicide Team 1, had to cover on call as this case unfolded and Team 1 was tied up. As many of you are aware, San Diego PD has a certified forensic crime lab within the police department. Dedicated lab personnel work tirelessly with investigators in this case. With that, I can answer some general questions. Well, I think anytime we have a homicide where ballistics are used, I think that's a huge tool for investigators. I believe, again, that forensic science has advanced so much that to the point when we do have a firearm used, that's extremely helpful to get us knowledge in our investigations.
Do you anticipate that more arrests will be made in connection with this? Because it certainly appears that this would have been a tough job to pull off for one person.
Yeah, and our unit always goes by never say never, never say always. That certainly is possible. However, at this juncture, we are focusing on Mr. Mercado.
Can you say anything about motive?
I cannot comment about motive at this time.
Can you tell us if the suspect knew the victims, was related to the victims, or if they had anything in common?
Yeah, I'm not sure there was any relation, but other than that, I have no other comment regarding that. Anything else? All righty, thank you. I'm sorry.
You mentioned the police in Utah when you were thanking, what was their role? Provo, right?
Yes, Provo, Utah. In homicide investigations, a tool that we use that is very helpful is we recreate victims' lives. And the reason that we do that is to find out what's going on in their life, who they are associating with, and that benefits our investigation. The family had ties to Provo, Utah, and so we asked the Provo, Utah Police Department to do follow-up investigation for us.
Can you tell us why Mr. Mercado is now in the hospital?
I'm not aware that he is right now in the hospital. However, that was the San Diego County Sheriff's Department that I'd have to refer you to. I'm not aware of any details regarding that.
Can you tell us, and I don't mean this pejoratively, it took a long time, or maybe it didn't resolve the case, it took months. Can you discuss any of the challenges that you faced that made this a more difficult investigation?
Absolutely, and let me answer that question by a point that just came to my mind, and that is we have homicide cases that are years old that get solved based on the advancement of forensic science and other items as the advancement of technology continues. And so 6 months for a homicide investigation, I don't want to say that's an average or it's a short or a long period. I want to say it is the amount of period we needed to do our work as perfect as we could, as close to humanly possible to being perfect.
My follow-up to that was, could you discuss any specific challenges that this case may have posed over and above the usual? That is 3 victims found in 2 different places. Is there anything?
Sure, absolutely. At the initial call out, the lieutenant's job is to make sure that we have the needed assets depending on the circumstances that we're faced with. In this particular homicide, as you're aware, Gianni went missing right from the get-go, and we knew that when we were in Mission Valley. And so I called out additional assets to the scene, which included missing persons investigators, robbery investigators, and a host of others that came in to give us a hand right from the get-go. And I think that's a huge benefit in homicide investigations, is to have a good foundation right when the incident occurs so that you can build upon that. I think I've talked to many of you about homicide investigations are building blocks, and we put those building blocks together, and that's how we solve cases. And this certainly was not immune from that.